Today we have here the BetaFPV Z02 AIO camera 5.8 GHz with VTX. Notice that this is the wire version of the camera. They no longer had it in the side, but this camera initially, the first version, was like coming with a fixed camera by the pins mounted to the VTX. Now they have this version, which is of course more flexible, not because they wire, but flexible in the way that you can mount it in your tiny whoops or 2S or 3S small quads. So this is the main difference with the previous version of this camera. Everything that comes in the box is what you see here now. The camera with the VTX attached by the wires, as I said before. Some two mounts for the camera, one 25 degrees and another 35 degrees plus some pins, and the QR code for the manual and stuff like that. So that's it. Everything that comes in the box is that, no more than that. Well, the characteristics of this camera are very similar to many others in the market today. This one comes with allowed for OSD connected to the flight controller, as well supports a smart audio function. But the most important characteristics, or what I think is the best characteristic of this camera compared to the other ones, is that it's able to work at 0 peak mode, 25 milliwatts and 200 milliwatts. There are not many cameras out there in the market for tiny whoops or small quads that will be able to work with 200 milliwatts. So I think this is a valuable camera. It's about $28 right now in many places online. So this camera is able to work at 25 milliwatts and 200 milliwatts. With 25 milliwatts you have very good reach, but when there are so many walls in your house or the place that you want to fly, the parking lot, whatever, 200 milliwatts will be better to fly it. I compare the power of this VTX with my other, for example, with this BetaFPV that I built myself with some parts. This is the Z01 camera, and it's equivalent, and the same for the Tiny Hawk with the 25 milliwatts. I didn't measure, and it's about the same power, but we can see right now it's not a big deal. Let me show you how that measure. I create some cable here, weird fast cable that I get some connector, put it to the battery, then I can plug it to the battery. With my Mention RC RF meter, I already calibrated to the band that I'm using, which is R3. 5750 is actually 5732, but this is the closer frequency. Attenuation, etc. I measure with another VTX I have. I corrected to around 25 milliwatts. I calibrated around 25 milliwatts. And so with that we can measure relative power output, more or less. This is not too precise, but more or less I did all my best to make sure that it's more or less about the same. And then, for example, when the bar gets to that line, is 25 milliwatts. And for example, I have it set, well, this is 25 milliwatts, same as this. But this is now set to 25 milliwatts. It can go to 200 milliwatts, but let's see pretty quick here. It's transmitting already there. Let's check. As you can see, the line is there under 25 milliwatts, very close. Then if we put the battery on the Tiny Hawk, we can see that as well. Let's see the Tiny Hawk. It's right there around the 25 milliwatt too. A little bit over, but it's about the same. So then similar for this one. Let me get a battery for that. Oh, the same battery will work. Then let's put the same power. So all of them, and that, so it means that in 25 milliwatt is the same power as the Tiny Hawk or any of the Z01 from BetaFPV as well, and probably many others. In 200 milliwatt, to measure the relative is more complicated because all the antennas are different depending This is very imprecise, so I didn't find an actual way that to measure correctly that will be equivalent to the dipole antenna with any antenna you use. So that's why I prefer not to show, because I will be not doing correctly. Anyways, what I can see is that it's a lot more powerful with in 200 milliwatts, and I can see that is a very good VTX and camera combination to use with the tiny whoops or small quads. Will be a very improvement compared to, let's say, we can put it in the Tiny Hawk. Will be a good improvement for the range and the quality of the video in terms of breaking or not breaking or stuff like that. Well, this is all for today. So please subscribe to my channel, that will cost you nothing. And until the next one, clear skies.